Do you guys have any horror stories overseas?
Sam has a crazy.
Sam crazy one.
I think it's more horror for me hearing
Yes.
this than it actually is.
Well, no,
for her.
again. Well, yeah, because I'm white, so here we are,
Oh,
just
shit, here we
winning
go.
again. Yes.
Here we go.
Yeah. No, it's
Here
going.
we go.
It's going there
Here
for
we
sure.
go. Let's go.
So I was playing. I'm not gonna say where. And I had a roommate that I just met, and she's black. And our president was talking to us, and I thought he was about to be cool. He was like, some places in this city don't really, like, still kind of racist, like, just so you know. I was like, oh, bet, like, he's down. Like, he's just letting her know, like, hey, be careful, like, maybe avoid these places, Then he turns to me and said, is it okay that you're living with her? About my
fellow
black
black
teammate.
Hold on. What? Hold on. I didn't catch that.
He asked me, is it okay that you're living with her?
While she's standing
While she's
right
sitting,
there.
like, if this is Deja, a black woman,
Yeah. That's
is it?
crazy.
You asked me
That's
if it's okay.
Crazy.
Yes, and I was like,
Excuse me.
yeah, and I didn't bring it up to mind you, we got off the plane, met at the apartment, and this is the first time meeting this girl, right? And I wish I would have known her before, because I would have said some slick shit, like been like, nah, actually I can't mess with that. But I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it asked me in front of, and like I said, yeah, literally, and like I said, I don't know if, I'm assuming he meant it like that because, it came across that way. But I was like, so that was one that was.
If I was your teammate, I think I would have went home immediately. That would have been enough for me to be like, I don't think I'm in the right area.
I'm not.
Like,
this ain't from. And I was just like, yo, and I was like, yeah, it's very fine with me. I didn't know what else to say in that situation. Like, yes, it's very completely fine, sir.
I had a GM. I don't care. I had a GM, and and I'm not gonna say this, but just know that we were having a conversation, and we was talking about just basketball, and he said that usually the black players are lazy, so we try to find the ones that's not lazy, because they're we were talking about the NBA. For some reason, he's like DeMarcus Cousins. Oh, I don't like him. I think he's lazy. Usually over here the black players are lazy. Like, yo, who are you talking to right now? Like, that's crazy to say.
Also, the same place, now that you're getting my mind there, which we haven't talked about this ever. The guy, one of my I think it was my coach. I don't even remember who it was. He was coaching there and we had the conversation about saying the N-word and how it's not okay. And he would be saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
would he
chill,
say,
man.
Would he say like we would say it, or does he say it like in a negative way?
The
Either
full
way's
thing.
wrong.
Right.
You seen that,
No.
That's what you said.
No.
You seen that
White people,
Bulldogs?
absolutely not.
That Bulldogs episode where he's like, nigga this, nigga that,
Yeah.
nigga
No, he was saying with the ER.
With the ER.
I
What the
He
ER?
was just saying it. He wasn't like calling someone.
Oh.
And and then sometimes with the ER and the A, like he was trying to ask the difference, and he was like, it was from a genuine place of like he didn't know because he's not American, But I'm like,
Was he asking a black person?
well, this is and so it was the same teammate that was there.
The teammate.
Same
It was the teammate.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
there,
Oh,
and he's like talking like, well, why can you say it and I can't, and and I'm like, I was like, sir, you don't have the time, and I tried to not make her answer it because like that's not. Like fair to be like, and he doesn't even understand putting that burden on somebody. And I was like, you just can't do. Like I said, it's a whole different. He's like, trying to compare the things of like overseas slaves, and I'm like, because every country, continent, or whatever, like has had slaves. I said, but I was just trying to explain the difference of a whole like country being it's levels, and he wasn't understanding the levels of it. And I'm just like, can we just say it? You can't say it and just leave it? Like, just leave it. Like, it's not that big. Like, what do you gain from saying it? Like, you don't gain anything. Like, it hurts people. Like, and it hurts people's not feelings, but like, there's history and context and weight to that word.
It's like when you tell a kid not to do something, and
Right.
they really want to do it because they know they can't.
They shouldn't, right, or can't. Yeah, and and I was just like, bro, like and she's
and it really bothers me, especially when we get to overseas, because that's not even your language.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what you're
So it's like you go out of your way to use these words, and just
leave it.
Just leave it. Just leave it. it's enough already to explain to the people that speak our language.
Yeah, for sure.
And now, then you're in a whole nother.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't even speak on it. It's not my thing. But like, it's just. That was the same place.
We don't have no time to go down.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Now horror stories.
I have a lot of horror stories.
A lot.
A lot. Every year is another horror story at home. Overseas basketball is different. You got to be built different. For sure.
And even if you are, it's still a lot.
I signed with the team for a good amount of money. And I knew this team could not pay this amount of money. I knew this team could not pay this money. But it was good money, so I'm like, how much?
Just maybe.
Good money they don't have.
Sheesh. So what I did was I made him pay up front, a lot of my money up front right when I got there. Like the first month I was there. Mm-hmm. And I had
you got that.
Right, well, they had 20 days to give me that money before I could leave, which I thought was a good idea. Mm-hmm. So I got there, I maybe practiced a week. And I hadn't gotten my first, when you
installment,
land,
first little medical clearance, all that little
couple little monies, well, here you go.
Welcome.
little advance. We'll walk around.
Yeah, we'll walk around.
So that's what happened. I got there and I hadn't gotten that, and it was getting like a week or two.
That's a lot of time with no money.
And I'm like, if you ain't giving me this little measly coins, why do I think you're about to give me this bag in 20 days, right? So my 20 days come up, and I was like, you know what? It's already looking bad. I'm going to leave. I ended up leaving, and the club, I'm not kidding, the club closed, shut down, disappeared a week after I left.
With the quickness.
Nobody played.
That sounds like a scam.
The whole team. I was, in that year, it was the year after COVID, too.
Yeah.
And that year, I spent the first half of the season without a job, without a contract, because I had put all my eggs in that basket.
And now people signed everybody.
Right, so I was sitting after COVID already 40 pounds heavier than I should be probably. Now sitting longer and waiting for a contract. I ended up getting a contract the second half of the season, but still.
4 months without a check.
Every single year. This is my 6th year now. This is the only team that's ever really paid me what they're supposed to pay me on time. Every year, though, outside of this, I still have money out there. Every team owes me.
Say, like, a former hooper said he got money, people owe them. Everyone. Every
single team owes me. But it's like not enough money to like go to court.
Yeah.
Some is. There's one that is. But I also didn't have the right agent at the time to like go after it. Yeah. But yeah, every single team.
That's the one thing I'm thankful
Last year, my girlfriend tore her ACL. She partially tore it. They gave her 1 month. 1 month. Exactly 1 month. To come back and play because the doctor said that she could.
First of all, you shouldn't come back at all.
1 month. 1 month passed. 1 month passed, and they said, "Well, the doctor said you should be ready in a month." They didn't ask the doctor to
another
check
test
up on her again. They just made her play. Then she continued to play. She played her ass off for I think a month and tore it completely.
Of course, it's almost done.
Yeah,
and then
you're just waiting
left her out to dry. She got the surgery, but they didn't tell her how to do it. They didn't check up on her after. They didn't take her to the hospital, bring her back.
I wasn't having the surgery.
They didn't do anything. But it's also hard because not speaking for my girlfriend, but for other players, a lot of this is our jobs. You know what I mean? So when we come overseas and we have insurance by these clubs. Yeah. They're supposed to take care of that. You know what I mean? That's our insurance.
That's what you signed the contract for.
Unless you're somebody who also has insurance at home, paying for insurance at home when you're not home for 9 months out of the year.
I'm about to be 26.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really hard.
Yeah, insurance about to run out.
Right,
you got to get it.
It's scary to get hurt in the overseas and have to rely on some of these countries to for your surgeries and stuff because. Right when you stop doing for these teams, they stop doing for you. They don't care anymore. You don't have anything to give them. So they're on to the next, trying to find the next player to take your place, trying to save the next money to give to the next person. It's a dog eat dog out here. World out here, you know what I mean? That's tough.
My horror story so far is year 3 was I had a GM. I get to the team in January, February, somewhere in there. And they paid, the first month. But there's already guys on the team because the season started for that league in January. There's already guys on the team. They had their month or whatever. and they didn't get their second month check because I got there the second month, so I got there in February. They had a January check, I had a February check, and they didn't get their money. So we get to March, nobody's got money. So they missed 2 checks. I'm missing 1, and playoffs about to come up, and basically his whole scheme was to basically just give everybody this 1 check and then roll in the playoffs, win the league, and he get all the money from winning the league. And because we were number 1 and everything, we were expected to win the league. We ended up winning the league, but he was apparently on drugs. His mom had to get the money for us. We ended up getting the checks we were supposed to get and our bonus and all that stuff. But yeah, he was apparently like an addict on drugs, scamming us. Had no intentions of honoring the real contract
unless you won.
Yeah, because
then you couldn't pay it.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
That is sad
and sad.
Yeah, that's why I don't go back to Eastern Europe. Can't do it.
Yeah.
There is when you go to certain countries, because certain countries have their reps about money specifically. That's when you have to kind of put that fine print in your contract. The 15 days that you get to pay me late now is like 5 or 3 or whatever it is.
And those ones.
See, I was at
otherwise
they don't care.
No.
In Turkey, the average one was 30 days, so that they could always be a month late. You know what I mean? So every first, I'm getting
the month
before, and it's like you're late, and they think because they're still in the 30 days, it's on time.
Yeah.
That's not how it works,
late.
sir.
It's late.
It's late. Also, we got bills at home. We got stuff, car payments, rent for house, mortgage, whatever. You know what I mean? We got bills. Like, they don't care about that.
No. And even if you don't have that, it's not your money.
It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't, because it's my money. It's none of your business. And I've read one of those overseas accounts that just said, a guy was like, I had to start telling my team.
Child support.
I had child support. He said, I ain't got no kids. He said, I ain't got no
0 kids, but you don't need to know that. I have child support.
He's like, I got child support. I need you to pay me, otherwise they're gonna,
Gotta bounce.
Yeah. It's like, he said, knowing damn well I ain't got no kids.
Yeah.
He said, but it worked. But the fact that you have to do that, something that extreme to get what's owed to you, and what's signed in a is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
See, at the time, I had no leverage. Yeah. So I came off an injury, and I went to a team. And I basically was still injured. I wasn't back yet. And I was rehabbing for like another 2 or 3 months while I was with the team. I came back. I wasn't myself. I didn't play well. And when I did play well, they had already made a decision to cut me. So I went down to a team in the 2nd division. So I really had no leverage. So I just needed to get film and hopefully get some type of money and film. That's all I wanted to do. Ended up being, good because I ended up getting all of that, and the championship. But I didn't really have any leverage to say, I had to make sure this in my contract or any of that. They probably weren't going to honor it anyway because literally what they did. So I was on the team in the 1st division. One guy got cut. He went down to that team, and I ended up getting cut, and I went down to that team. They copy and pasted his contract, even with his agent's name on and everything. The same exact contract. Like, they wouldn't think about the money, like they're going to match the money and all that stuff because they had no intention of paying all of it. You could pay that 1 month, and that was cool for them. Right. And, I mean, I didn't really it was my first year, really, because I missed my first year of injury. So I had no leverage, no idea. Like, I was just trying to make it out to get to the other side and get another deal after that. Right. So I just had no leverage, and it worked out though. It worked out.
I mean, did it? Jeez, like that stuff. We kind of brush off a lot of stuff, the crazy stuff that we go through.
Yeah.
And that seems like the light stuff on.
It's just like, it worked out. Why do we have to do that though? Like, why we have to almost be treated like, I don't want to say the wrong word, but just like a piece of property.
Just poorly.
Or you know what I mean? Not even a piece of property because you take care of what's yours, but I don't know. It's just crazy. Poorly. Inhumane.
Yeah. So I just came to accept that when you're at the lower levels, there's a lot of stuff you got to put up with. And when you get to the higher level, you still have to put up with stuff, but it makes it worth it because they pay you more. It's a higher level. It's a whole lot more professional. Right. So, like, we're getting paid, to play basketball. So everything not going to be, sweet. Like, I could be working a regular 9 to 5 and be miserable, So I just accepted the fact that it's a lot of BS you got to take with this job, until you're able to reach one of those higher levels, Right. You go to Italy, you probably won't have to deal with too much. Probably won't have to deal with too much.